Arresting judges, huh? We've gotten to this point, where we're starting to arrest judges. I feel like this has happened before in history. We're not going to name a particular German regime that has been responsible for arresting judges before, and particular events and stuff like that. But, breaking Wisconsin judge Hannah Dugan arrested by the FBI for obstructing ICE arrest. What do you mean by that? Was there a recent ruling that Hannah Dugan took a part of where there was what basically she said, I'm going to make the assumption, okay? Because this has been constantly fucking happening. Because every court has been saying, like, yeah, what you're doing, Trump, with the deportation under the justification of the Alien Enemies Act is just, there's no legal basis for it. Bring back those people. I'm going to operate under the assumption that that is what that's what we're sort of operating under. Because again, what is the justification that fucking Trump has for using the Alien Enemies Act? He's a fucking stupid racist. Can't really put it any other way, to be honest. But fuck it. Who cares? Let's start arresting judges. Power? Well, yeah, obviously. All politics leads to power. Like, I thought the judiciary was a co-equal branch of the government. Wasn't there also, like, I think there was a couple in Arizona or New Mexico that was also arrested for housing a migrant, I believe. The migrant, like, came over to help them with some carpentry or some shit, or like some kind of house renovation. Came over, they helped them, and they decided, hey, you can just like stay at our place. We're cool with it. We got an extra bed. You can stay. And that's like just the arrangement that they had. Dude was able to work no problem and had housing because of that. But here's the problem. That stinky brown immigrant had some tattoos. Uh-oh. He had tattoos that were apparently affiliated with gangs or something. Like, what's the, what is it? New Mexico judge. Yeah, right here. An alleged Venezuela gang member. Ex-judge busted in TDA gang case. Let's see. So there's the guy, I believe, who got arrested, right? That's the migrant, allegedly. What's the tattoos? Firearms plus illegal entry. From what I recall, the firearms that he had were firearms that were, I believe, given to him by the people he was staying with. Which I guess were properly registered or some shit? Is that what it is? Wife Nancy were arrested after a raid on their last Crucius home. Okay. Well, that's the guy. They're accused of tampering with evidence and harboring an alleged TDA gang member. Okay. Sure. In what way is this guy a TDA gang member? Yeah, dude's got a gun. Christian Ortiga Lopez is a Venezuelan national linked to the Chenderagua gang. Wait, I thought that was alleged. That's a little weird. Yeah, he's got a tattoo. First caught in February inside Cano's family guest house in New Mexico. Dude's he's got a gun. Same thing. Court records say he's hired for repairs and then offered a room by Nancy Cano shortly after. All right, so like an unofficial sort of contract. Sure. Okay. Here's Secot, which is now being argued it's a concentration camp. Gang tattoo. So DHS found that. Gang tattoos and clothing, huh? Like what? Like what are the tattoos? They illegally crossed the border? Okay. Was the dude like given any asylum claims by any courts or something? Or what? He was released just days later due to overcrowding despite his undocumented status. Well, and let me guess, he couldn't get back, so he was just stuck in America. Well, He was at holiday dinners. Man, this is a really violent and dangerous gang member being at family dinners and stuff with the Kanos. 4 firearms from the home of the couple's daughter, April Kano. Okay. Don't know what she has to do with any of this. Alright. Posing with guns. Some he claimed belonged to April herself. So they probably went out shooting together, as one does in America. Sure. Yeah, pretty American. Federal charges for possessing firearms as an illegal alien in the U.S. That is a law, you know. He is an illegal alien that's possessing firearms that were given to him. Mm-hmm. So could serve up to 15 years behind bars. Lovely. Fantastic. Even though he didn't really do anything wrong. He's an illegal alien that was let go into the U.S., probably had court dates that he had to go to or whatever. Was he allowed to do any of them? Shut up. I don't care about this. Arrested Venezuelan gang. Again, what is the alleged that he's a part of the Venezuelan gang? Like, no evidence seemingly has been produced. Like, they said, like, it's tattoos and clothing. If they knew what clothing was associated with Tren de Aragua, they would have posted the fucking clothing. And I think he had, like, some tattoos of a gun. Because that apparently means Tren de Aragua now. A gun. Cool. Resigned in March. After federal authorities accused a couple of housing undocumented immigrant. Okay. Let me be as crystal clear as possible. Connell wrote in his resignation obtained by COAT. The first time I ever heard that the boys could possibly have any association with Tren de Aragua was when I was informed... Wait. First time I ever heard that the boys could possibly have any association with Tren de Aragua was when I was informed of that by the agents on the day of the raid. So the agents were the people who told them he may have an association with Tren de Aragua. And so far, what's the fucking evidence that they are a part of Tren de Aragua? There's some tattoos and some clothes. Sure, man. Okay. If talking about the fucking firearm stuff being under the possession of an illegal alien, that's a whole different story. What? He went out shooting with some people. Okay. Are, like, the guns, like, does he own those guns? The questionable at best, but what? Installed a glass door for Nancy Cano in late 2023. According to court documents, he continued a few jobs for her in 2024, and after he was evicted from his apartment in 2024, she offered him a stay in their casita, a small house on their property. There, Ortega Lopez was given access to guns. By the family? Okay. Allegedly posted photos of himself on social media holding guns. Also looked at social media accounts of the other undocumented immigrants staying at the judge's house that suggests clear indicators of association with the Venezuelan gang. What are they? These indicators included tattoos, clothing, apparel, and displaying hand gestures. What? Like, what hand gestures? The dude did this? Oh, fuck. I'm a Venezuelan migrant from Tren de Aragua. From, like, what? Like what? We've seen, like, some of the hand gestures he was doing, right? Where's, like, a picture? Oh, shit, he's holding guns? That means he's doing a hand gesture. This is all Tren de Aragua holding your phone like this? This is a fucking affiliated with hand gang symbol? Are you fucking for real? The LAPD does this shit to black people all the time. Well, yeah, obviously there's like fucking racism that's being fueled by this. It's stupid. President Donald Trump's administration has repeatedly relied on tattoos to identify alleged gang members. Alleged, of course. Can't be held liable, you know. ICE has been apparently relying on a scorecard, the Alien Enemies Actify validation guide, to determine whether Venezuelan immigrants are eligible for deportation. Well, so far most of the courts have been saying that no, not the case. ACLU lawyers have said if migrants reach a score of 8 points or higher, they are validated as members of the Tren de Aragua gang, this guide states. Tattoos are worth 4 points. That is fucking stupid as fuck, dude. Are you actually fucking for real? Let's not even keep in mind the basis for as to why the Alien Enemies Act is, again, only for countries at war. Didn't know that the U.S. was at war with Venezuela, all because of, like, Donald Trump being salty that his coup attempt didn't work. It's silly. Like, are you real? The present order states that all Venezuelan citizens 14 years of age or older who are members of Tren de Aragua are within the United States and are not actually naturalized or lawful permanent residents of the United States are liable to be apprehended, restrained, secured, and removed as alien enemies. Damn, still didn't know that the U.S. was at war with Venezuela. That is news to me. The ACLU sued administration officials over their use of the Alien Enemies Act, and a judge issued a temporary restraining order barring the migrants from being deported. Whoa. Because it's not a lawful fucking use. Crazy. It's silly. Let's see. The Supreme Court ruled earlier this month that the Trump administration has the authority to deport migrants under the centuries-old act, but also ordered that the government provide detainees an opportunity to contest their removals in court districts nearest to the detention centers where they are being held. So, you know, the Supreme Court's okay with the black baggings, but they're just like, let them have their due process. Let them at least do that. So, of course, you know, dumb fuck Supreme Court, you know, allowing for this insanity to happen to begin with. But, I mean, they have the justification. They're not going to follow due process because this administration doesn't give a fuck about following due process. Is this something similar that happened to fucking Hannah Dugan? What's, like, Hannah Dugan's case? Why was she arrested? Like, what is meant by obstructing immigration officials? Helping a man evade immigration authorities. Accused of escorting the man and his lawyer out of her courtroom through the jury door last week after learning that immigration authorities were seeking his arrest. The man was taken into custody outside the courthouse after agents chased him on foot. Okay. So, Trump administration has, of course, accused state and local officials for doing their job. So, that's cool. Of interfering with his immigration enforcement priorities. Well, we already know that, again, the basis for as to why Donald Trump is just detaining people are nonsense and stupid. If you have a tattoo, arrested, you're probably part of a gang because you have a tattoo, even though, like, it's been proven constantly, like, that has nothing to do with it, but, you know, whatever. The rest also comes amid a growing battle between the administration and the federal judiciary over the president's executive actions over deportations and other matters. Taken into custody by the FBI on Friday morning on the courthouse grounds, according to U.S. Marshal Service spokesperson Brady McCarran, she appeared briefly in federal court in Milwaukee later Friday before being released from custody. Well, she got released. She faces charges of concealing an individual to prevent his discovery and arrest and obstructing or impeding a proceeding. Sure, man. Judge Dugan wholeheartedly regrets and protests her arrest. It was not made in the interest of public safety, her attorney, Craig Masantudonu, said during the hearing. He declined to comment to an Associated Press reporter following her court appearance. Democratic Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers, in a statement on the arrest, accused the Trump administration of repeatedly using dangerous rhetoric and to attack and attempt to undermine our judiciary at entry level. Fairly fucking obvious. Again, like, what? Saying that it's absurd that a bunch of fucking immigration agents just, like, randomly thought themselves? Really? Again, what's the fucking goddamn sort of justification for the migrant even being going to, like, local proceedings, right? Why? Another woman got elbowed in the arm. Flores Ruiz was in Dugan's court for a hearing after being charged with 3 counts of misdemeanor domestic battery. Confronted by a roommate for playing loud music on March 12th, Flores Ruiz allegedly fought with him in the kitchen and struck a woman who tried to break them up, according to the police affidavit in the case. Okay, so he had a court date, but since he's a migrant, that means federal police needs to apprehend him. So he was just going to court for his court date. Okay, so you can just like randomly apprehend people just for like going to court. That's cool. This is definitely going to make people to want to go and participate within the fucking civil systems. Truly. Victims. Truly, this means brown people are bad. What? The rule of law is very simple. In this Pam Bondi. It doesn't matter what line of work you're in. If you break the law, we will follow the facts and we will prosecute you. Yeah, he did break the law. Sir Flores Ruiz broke the law. He was going to court for that. And then you just fucking detained and blackbagged him. And now you're going to deport him without him going to court. Which, that was the thing he was doing. And so you're going to fucking, what, arrest the judge who was overlooking his fucking court proceeding because of that? Are you insane? Because he was just like, oh, fuck. Or Hannah Dugan was just like, well, fucking shit. The fucking ICE agents, the Gestapo are here. God damn it. And here to be stupid and fucking annoying. Why? Meanwhile, I was supposed to be taking care of this fucking case. So now they're just going to be here and just make a fucking complete mess of things. Because that's what's going to happen. It's just going to be a complete fucking mess. But, you know, that's cool. Senator Tammy Baldwin, a representative who represents Wisconsin, called the arrest of a sitting judge a gravely serious and drastic move that threatens to breach the separation of power between the executive and judicial branches. Yup. Because, again, this is some fucking dictator shit. If you arrest a judge who does a thing that you don't like, that means, whoa, it's crazy. That might be a fucking bad thing. Because so far, that's the basis for as to why that this is happening. She was making sure that the fucking guy was going to go to proceed to court. So, you know, that's cool. Emilia De Torre, executive director of Milwaukee Turner, said during a protest Friday afternoon outside the federal courthouse that Dugan was a former board member for the local civic group who was certainly trying to make sure that due process is not disrupted and that the sanctity of the courts is upheld. That's a pretty good fucking point here by Emilio, you know? That's quite literally it. She was making sure that due process, because guess what? Flores Ruiz was going for. He was going in for his fucking court date. And then a bunch of federal fucking dipshits show up and just blackbag him. But, you know, yeah, boy meets mini. Yeah, due process, that's woke in DEI. You know, it's woke. You can't have due process. Because, fuck you. Why follow the Constitution? What we're going to do is stupid and illegal. So, anywho, that's what she got fucking arrested for. Doing her job. She was doing her fucking job and she got arrested for it. Wonderful. Let's see. Milwaukee judge arrested by FBI for allegedly helping an undocumented migrant evade arrest. No, she wasn't helping him evade arrest. She was basically saying, I have a court proceeding with this migrant and I am looking to see through due process. Something which you don't give two flying fucks about. Clearly. Well, anywho, what? We got a Nazi Barbie here, you know. I can confirm that our FBI agents just arrested Hannah Dugan, a county judge in Milwaukee, for allegedly helping an illegal alien avoid an arrest. No! That's not what she was doing. She was ensuring that Flores Ruiz goes through with his fucking court order. Because he was ordered to show up to court for 3 misdemeanor charges. And he showed up to court. And she was just like, no, I don't want you fucking arresting him because he is supposed to have due process. She is quite literally upholding her constitutional duty. That is what she's supposed to do as a judge. Follow through with due process. But these people don't give a fuck about due process because, again, you know, Do you think that fucking the Trump administration cares at all about following the legal processes that exist within the United States? No, they don't give a shit about any of that stuff. It's all about, yeah, whatever. We're just gonna do whatever stupid, idiotic fucking dog shit because fuck it. Mad King is in charge. Let's see, what do we got here? Pam Bondi. Bondi declares war on the courts. What has happened to our judiciary is beyond me. They are deranged for following the Constitution, which you do not want to follow, but, you know, whatever. We are sending a very strong message today. We will come after you and we will prosecute you. We will find you. For the crime of going into court to, you know, settle your misdemeanor charges of domestic battery. Okay. Quite literally. Hey, you follow the process. Time to get fucking deported. Time for judges to get fucking arrested for doing their fucking job. That's cool.
Madam What's happened to our judiciary is beyond me.
Yeah, so when the American public hears this and they think these were once upstanding people in their communities and their professions, and they put it...
Yeah, that's what she was doing. She was, Hannah Dugan was upholding what she was supposed to do. Saying, like, no, I want to basically make sure that he gets his day in court because he has a fine, 3 charges of misdemeanor of domestic battery, and I'm going to make sure that he gets his due day in court because that is her job as a judge.
It all on the line for this. I mean, have you dug into their motive? Like, what inspired them to carry out these acts and harbor criminals?
It's called the U.S. Constitution, saying that everyone can have due process, right? That's how it's been outlined in the Constitution. But, you know, whatever. Yeah, I mean, yeah, boy meets, none of these people give a fuck. Yeah, meanwhile, Trump bitched and moaned about going to court. Remember, Trump is a felon, has been charged with 34 different counts of business tampering. So, you know, oh man, I can't believe that the judges are doing their fucking job of letting people have their due day in court. That's cool. Stupid.
They're deranged is all I can think of. I cannot believe...
That's very funny coming from you, you stupid, dumb fucking Barbie. What are you talking about? Oh, they're deranged. You're the one who's fucking flagrantly disobeying the fucking Constitution. Yeah, you work for and defend a felon. Yet, Hannah Dugan is fucking deranged for doing her job? Get your fucking head out of your ass, you stupid bitch.
I think some of these judges think they are beyond and above the law, and they are not.
That is fucking hilarious coming from you, who's just randomly black-bagging everyone and deporting them to a concentration camp in El Salvador. That's fucking hilarious. Even though the Supreme Court said, stop doing the deportations to the concentration camp. Hilarious.
And we're sending a very strong message today. If you are harboring a fugitive, we don't care who you are. If you are helping hide one, if you are...
She literally had the fucking dude come into court to go to his court proceedings. She wasn't harboring him. She was making sure that her fucking person that was coming into court was, whoa, going to see his day in court. Because you know what this is essentially going to do? It's going to make it such that people aren't going to go to court now to get their fucking due process done, to get whatever needs to be worked out within court. Quite literally, for all the bluster about being the party of law and order, the Republicans are doing everything possible to make sure that that shit is not fucking followed. It's crazy.
We're giving a TDA member guns. Anyone who is illegally in this country, we will...
So that is in reference to the Cano individuals, right? This family who was housing Ortigo Lopez. Again, what is the evidence that he is a Tren de Aragua member? He had, like, a tattoo of a gun on him, and that was it. And he did, like, gestures like this. As, like, saying, rock on, like this, means you are a gang member now. It's ridiculous. Ludicrous.
Come after you, and we will prosecute you. We will find you.
If I could just...
Madam.
Yeah, sure, whatever. We're gonna find you.
If I could just finish off with this idea, very significant development that you're arresting judges now. Now, it could be that the judges have engaged in terribly bad behavior and deserve to be arrested. But you know what critics will say? They'll say, "Oh, this is a government that is expanding the powers of the Article 1 of the Constitution. Now they're arresting judges." How do you respond to that?
No one is above the law, John. No.
That is fucking hilarious, coming from the stupid dumbass bitch who works for and defends the felon fucking president, who is incredibly corrupt, and never put any of his assets in a blind trust, kept it within his fucking family. Are you actually kidding me? Yeah, oh, nobody is above the law. Dude, like, literally, I've said this before, law of party and order, they could give less of a fuck about law and order. They do everything possible to make it such that lawlessness is the point. So then they can fucking catch you and deport you to a prison slave labor camp. That's the fucking point of this shit. It's actually insane. Fucking party of law and order. Get this stupid ass shit out of your fucking ass. Get your fucking head out of your ass, you stupid Nazi Barbie.
No one is above the law in this country. And if you are destroying evidence,
Incredible.
if you are obstructing justice when you have victims...
That is fucking hilarious that you say obstructing justice when you are the ones that are currently obstructing justice. Flores Ruiz was going in to court for, facing up to 9 months in prison and a $10,000 fine if he gets convicted. He was going in to face justice. And yet, you are the one just obstructed that by fucking blackbagging him. Incredible!
Sitting in a courtroom of domestic violence, and you're escorting a criminal defendant out a back door?
Yeah, because she wanted to let him have his day in court. She was going to do her job. Crazy, but didn't want him to get fucking randomly fucking blackbagged illegally. Because again, none of these people care about law and order. They could give less of a shit about any of that. This is incredible.
It will not be tolerated, and it is a crime in the United States of America. Doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah, you defend the felon
Attorney
president.
General, great to see you in the studio.
Great to see you.
Oh, great to see you. It's really nice to see you. You want to grab some cocktails after this? Oh, I'd love to grab some cocktails. Get the fuck out of here, you stupid fucking dipshit fucking millionaires. All you fucking losers, you suckling on the teat of power. Get the fuck out of here. This is actually fucking incredible, man. This is insane, dude. But, a funny little regime back in 1933 also did the exact same shit. Where they started arresting judges that did things they didn't like. It's actually fucking incredible. How many times have I told you this is India level corruption? Honestly, Boy Meets Mini, this is actually insane. Actually fucking insane, A funny little mustache man would be very, very proud for us to what the U.S. is currently doing. This is incredible. Like, all this talk about obstruction of justice, yet these are the motherfuckers that are currently trying to obstruct justice. Justice was about to be fucking litigated out between Flores Ruiz and a fucking local fucking judge. That's incredible, man. Yet you will say nobody is above the law when you're fucking defending one of the most corrupt fucking presidents who is a felon. He's been convicted on 34 fucking counts of business tampering. But nobody's above the law. Huh? Really? Yeah, nobody's above the law. Works for a fucking felon who should be in fucking jail. But whatever. Nice meme. Good to see that the fucking United States is becoming the stupid fucking shit show clown fest that it was always, I guess, destined to be at this point. Fucking incredible, man.